Good morning and welcome to the program Perspectives. Perspectives this morning on Invicta 98.9. We must apologize and quickly do that too for starting this program a little late. We had some situations in our studios and we tried to just really get over it, and glad to say that we are on top of the situation now, and so we can go on with the program. We apologize for keeping you late on the program, but no, I don't like to say it, but I hear people say it that better late than never, but it's not just good to be late, and so I apologize that we're coming on the program this late. And it is an issue that is all over the place. Nigeria is a secular state. That's to say that all religions are welcomed in Nigeria, and that no religion takes prominence over the other. So Nigeria is a secular state. And so what we do to Nigeria, especially at this time, that we all are, trying all we can to see that we just do not let it get over the brink. It is a very difficult situation that we're in today, and we all, wanted to make Nigeria work, and how to make it work. But again, we comments about the Nigerian state. So many comments coming on from the different divides of the country, and that some comments are just not doing us, good, and we have to work on it. There is one that is going on, and I'm sure that you are all aware with the controversy surrounding the past utterances of the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Pantani, his comments and statements that he had made in the past, in support of global terrorist groups, and some Nigerians today are calling and saying that he must step down. On what moral standing can a man who had at one time held this position be in the class of leadership today and matters of governance? And when taking a look or a peep into the American system of government, fact file about individuals are really taken into why people must come into leadership. But just what happens here, again, your thoughts can be as good as mine. But let's talk about it. Nigeria, a secular state, and yet today, from the different windows or the vintage windows that we are on, we look at Nigeria and say that Muslims are, in numbers more than Christians, and Christians look at it this way, that they are in the numbers. And so we put all sorts of thoughts on a country that is said to be secular. And so utterances and comments that we make, and some, analysts will say that these are not, good for Nigeria today, especially this time that we're in. But let's look at it. The minister, a young man, and some people would say bringing a lot of ideas into the ministry that he's holding. And why would his past come to haunt his present? His present now, and so these are things that we must be looking at this morning. And I got a guest on the program with me, a regular. For some of you out there, my guest this morning is Jide Ojo. He is the executive director of Oja Development Consult, a columnist with the Punch newspapers. Is also a blogger, author, cultural enthusiast, and fellow of Chartered Institute of Leadership and Governance in the USA, USA. And so he's my guest this morning, and we're making a long distance call about his thoughts about what is coming out on or coming on for the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Pantani. Jide Ojo, good morning, and glad to have you on our show.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be on your program.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Well, I just gave a background there about the situation we have on our hands, and that's the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Pantani. Controversy, surrounding statements he had made in the past over support for global terrorist groups, Al Qaeda and the Taliban, all are in focus this morning. And then looking at it, that how could he have escaped, the eye of Senate group that looked at him, and when the interview was even on, the list was sent there by the president, and how could this all have escaped this group, and how could he have climbed up the ladder? And on what moral grounds would he be, holding a sensitive position of this sort in this government? And again, people are looking at the moral grounds that he can stand on to be a minister this morning. What are your thoughts, Sarah? Let's get an overview here.
For me, I think it's a very dicey situation, and as you said in your background, is an indictment on those who cleared in for that ministerial position had an issue. It's not the first time we are having this kind of issues with some of our public officials. And if you recall the controversy that led to the exit of Kemi Adeosun as Minister of Finance some years ago, about 2018, everything was blamed on lack of due diligence by the security agencies that cleared her for that position. And similarly, we can blame the DSS and the police and those who did the background check on the ministerial nominees of the president for not doing due diligence in approving or giving security clearance to Dr. Pantami for this ministerial position. However, he has come out not to deny, but to admit that he had those views when he was young, when he was an undergraduate, when he didn't know too much about what issues he was engaging, and that having grown matured and with better information and better clarity of thought, he now believes and has recounted his earlier position endorsing the personality of Osama bin Laden and approving of what Al-Qaeda and Taliban are doing. And my own position is, if he admitted to the fact that yes, in the past he did what he had been accused of doing, but he did it at a period in time when he was ignorant, and that he no longer held those positions and has actually been involved in trying to make Boko Haram insurgents to even recount their hardline positions. I think we can give him benefit of doubt, only that he has to be under security watch and close scrutiny of his person. The reason why I said that is that, yes, he may say he has changed, but his actions and activities need to be tracked as to show sincerity that he has actually changed and does not hold such position he held previously. The reason why I'm saying this is those who are against his continued stay in office are alluding to the fact that he holds a very sensitive position in this government. And the NIMC, Nigeria Identity Management Commission, is under him. And Nigerians are of the opinion that somebody with such an outline position in the past having custody of Nigeria, the database of Nigerians, which includes very vital information about individuals, if need be, can also use his vantage position to deal with people that he may have issues with. And that's why I would suggest that he needs to be under close monitoring. I agree that people can change. Even myself, there have been positions I hold very in the past that I no longer hold such positions. I used to be an advocate of subsidy. I mean, I'm giving an instance of myself. I used to be an advocate of, you need to give subsidy to the poor. We cannot allow subsidy to be removed and all of that. And even up until 2012, when former President Goodluck Jonathan removed the subsidy, I was one of those who protested on the streets against that decision. But with benefit of hindsight, I've come to realize that this subsidy currently, as it's been implemented, is not pro-poor. Rather, it has become an honeypot for some very few fat cats, and as such, I am in support of removal of subsidy now, so that we can free the money and use it to develop the infrastructure, and so that we can also be self-sufficient in local refining of petroleum products. I have just cited that as an instance of my earlier health position, which I no longer hold. Although somebody might say that holding an economic opinion is not the same thing as holding a religious opinion. Religion, as Karl Marx has said, is an opium of the masses. And we know that the insurgents and people who are involved in insurgency are ideologues, people who hold very serious ideas about their belief, and belief system is very difficult to change. But that is part of the reason why I said even if Dr. Pantami has changed, we need to be sure that it's put under close observation and that he does not in truth and in deed go back to those earlier held views which he now claim he has recanted.
Yeah, yes, Jide Ojo. Looking at it, it is certainly the past coming to haunt the present. And again, the question will be asked: how much of a price should such a person pay? With what you said now, but again, leadership in this country, should it be something that when we are, going for leadership, it should start from when we ever aspire to get into positions of power? And in a country like Nigeria, Christian, Muslims, and the battle that we are on each other about who takes prominence and which religion is God's religion here. Is this not a great damage to a situation, that we have in this country?
I think that
I'm saying that, yes, it's the past coming to haunt the present now, and the question to be asked, and which you're trying to explain too, would be how much of a price should one pay, for these. But again, aspiring to positions of leadership, should it be something that we must, start from the beginning and get on top of it? And can mistakes be given as excuses? Even it was done in the past. Can it be? On what moral ground can we stand here?
Well, yes. Aspiring to leadership position is also a very sensitive position, like Minister of Communication and Digital Economy. It's a very sensitive position that ordinarily, somebody with such hardline position should not be allowed to hold. And I'm saying this with every sense of responsibility, that somebody with such an hardline position. But again, let's look at what the present administration has done. Even for an avowed Boko Haram insurgent, the present administration is saying, if you recant, we are ready to forgive your sins, make you go through the radicalization program and reintegrate you into the society. So if Boko Haram members who are been known to have even killed and maimed and caused havoc, and they repented and they are rehabilitated, the same thing is being done for bandits in the northwest, that they are being offered amnesty program and they are being de-radicalized. So if you go by that, you can say that, okay, Pantami, having admitted that he held those positions when he was very young, when he was very impressionable, when he didn't actually have full understanding of what he was advocating for, should that he no longer holds those views. And the only thing that is permanent in that is change. If he has changed and genuinely is not pulling wool over the eyes of the public, I believe that the price he will have to pay, in my own estimation, is price of being closely watched by security agencies to be sure that we do not have an enemy within. Because we know the price that the country is still paying for acts of insurgency of few Nigerians. And ordinarily, and this is on a personal note, ordinarily, even if he's not sacked, he should have honorably resigned for holding such position in the past. That would have put page to this controversy, but we do not have culture of resignation in Nigeria. And like I said, due diligence was not done in screening and clearing this man for the position that is currently holding. Now, the president is not disposed to sacking people. We know that from experience. Kemi Adeosun have to voluntarily resign as finance minister. He was never sacked by the administration, despite the irrefutable claim that he possessed a fake NYSC discharge certificate. So it's a moral burden on Pantami to have resigned, but since he chose not to resign and rather believes that those who are calling for his head are those who do not want him to succeed with the national identification number registration, then it has been politicized. And having been politicized now, it's a messy issue. And I am just of the opinion that the best that we could do under this circumstance, if he's not relieved of that position and he too is not willing to resign, then the security agency needs to put him under close watch.
Well, yes, go on.
So that the security of Nigeria is compromised by his actions and decisions in government.
Yes, just before we I go on a break here. You brought something up, and that I really want to a little bit of light on that. That's about why we have not been honorable men and women. We've seen in other climes that under little accusations or suspicions, people resign their posts, and of course again we've seen where leaders have come to say I do not have the moral standing to hold onto this position. But that is something that we do not see here with us. What would you say speaks to that people do not cannot be honorable men and women and say this is against my principles, this is not what I am for, and so on that basis I will have to make an exit of it. Why has that not been what Nigerians can be proud to do?
Well, when it comes to issue of resigning or an office, from an office, it's a personal decision. Usually it's the boss, it's the employer that should show you the exit door and say, look, I can't have someone like you in my cabinet. But in as far as the person who engaged him has not deemed it fit to relieve him of that position, then his choice of resigning is totally at his discretion. And it's not only limited to Nigeria that people stubbornly hold on to positions. Even in US that we cite so often, I recall a couple of incidents. The former president of US, Donald Trump, was severally accused of rape and abuse of women. All through his tenure, a lot of people called for his resignation because they felt that his actions were inappropriate and all of that. But he stood his ground and never resigned. So we also have, I think it was a governor that also engaged in a kind of abuse, and he refused to resign. So it's not in all cases and in all sphere that people just choose to resign. People feel that when they resign from office, it's an admission of guilt. In Pantoni's case, we need to be very dispassionate about the issue. He never denied that he held those views. He only said he held those views when he was young. And he no longer holds those views, those strong opinions. And that he has even been involved in the last 15 years. He has been involved in the radicalization of insurgents. He has been preaching for. So it is for the security agencies to weigh and consider whether what he claimed he has been doing in the last 15 years were actually genuine. To be sure that he has not been involved in terrorism financing. To be sure that he is not secretly and surreptitiously engaging in acts of treason against Nigeria. I do not have the capacity to do that kind of monitoring. But the law enforcement agencies can do that. They can put him under watch. Even as far as he has refused to resign, let him be under watch so that he knows that if he makes any false move or is found to have engaged currently in acts that is subversive of the security and stability of Nigeria, he can then be prosecuted. But it is worse against those of the law enforcement agents. He has said that, yes, I'm sorry I had those views in the past. I did it when I was young, impressionable, when I didn't know have the full gamut of what Taliban and Al-Qaeda stood for. But I no longer hold those opinions, he admitted. And like I said, if the government has also established a radicalization policy for even insurgents that just claim to have shown remorse and abandoned their evil ways, and they are reintegrated. As much as some of us do not fully approve of that, because there should be justice to the victims and not just justice to the perpetrators of crime. In this material particular, we need to be very dispassionate in what we do or what we say about it. I am of the opinion that Pantami should be given benefit of doubt, but should be under close security watch so that he will not use his vantage position in government to quote and unquote nicodemously do things that can be inimical to the stability, peace, and progress of Nigeria.
Okay, thank you, Jide. We'll have to go for a commercial break. I'll be with you. I'll come back to you after the break.
Now it's time to beat the competition.
98.9 in the morning. Wake up. This is Invicta FM.
Welcome back. It's the program Perspectives this morning, and we are all looking at the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Isa Pantami. Controversial statements he made in the past over support for global terrorist groups. And here we are, the past. Some people say coming to haunt the present. And yes, lessons to learn for our young men and women too. What lessons would be there to learn? But Jide, just bringing you in, and before we just get to our listeners out to, say some things, be part of the conversation. We've also looked at Isa Pantami. Youthful exuberance will come out here that he has been very apologetic, said he's sorry that it was in the past, and he no more holds this, thoughts and beliefs. But again, along the line, when he was, in this youthful age, it would be said that he would have had command and of people, the people that looked up to him too, to say, yes, we believe in you, and so many of them, and they would be all over now. And is it about being in government now that he's recanting, or is it about just his position that he holds so there and wants to keep? So these are controversies too, also about the position, the new position he's taking about what had happened in his past. Look at it that way, and what lessons to learn for our young men and women here?
Well, for me, I think the body of this whole controversy is on the president himself, not on Pantami. The Constitution makes it very clear that you serve as a minister at the pleasure of the president. If the president didn't fit that, look, he does not want a character like Pantami in his cabinet, Pantami will not last another second. It should just be a matter of issuing a press release saying that the president has relieved him of his position. But the president must have still held some trust in him. That's why he is keeping him in that position. So we cannot claim that the president does not know or is unaware of the controversy surrounding his person. And what we need to be very mindful of is this. If Pantami stays in office, which I'm not against, but if he stays in office, despite this controversy, a day will come in future when there will be another controversy by another person in government. I hope we will not be looking at such future from a different perspective as we are looking at that of Pantami. I don't know whether you get my drift. When it was Kemi Adeosun, whether you are Yoruba or Igbo, everybody said go home. Go home. He said, look, I wasn't aware that what they gave me was a fake NYSC discharge certificate. Yet we called for her head, and she had to leave ignominiously, resigned, and left for UK. Now it is time of Pantami people are reading ethno-religious meanings to it and saying, no, you should not go, this and that. What goes round comes round. I think the moral burden is, like I said, on the president. If he feels sufficiently burdened, he can redeploy Issa Pantami, even if he's not going to drop him as minister. He can redeploy him away from that ministry that is in charge of vital data of Nigerians, so that we do not give opportunity for somebody to toy with that database. Although you may say it's not the Director General of NIMSI, which is Nigeria Identity Management Commission, but that is a subsidiary or a parastatal under the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy. But in all of this, whatever we say, the buck stops at the table of the president. If the president feels sufficiently comfortable with him, I have said earlier on that it is not unusual, and I've started using myself as a case study of a previously held view that I no longer hold. And why people may say, oh, no, you cannot compare economy. It's just like what people say, why did you give why are you giving amnesty to bandits? That you should not give amnesty to bandits because unlike the amnesty that was given to Niger Delta militants, it was to address economic and environmental injustice. That the bandits and the insurgents have no identifiable injustice they are trying to correct. And for that singular reason, people felt they should not be given amnesty. But then, like I said, it's a policy of this government to initiate a de-radicalization program for people who are themselves admitted that they are bandits and they are insurgents. And we have had situations where they have even been reintegrated. At some point, they were talking of even bringing them into the Nigerian army. So, if that could be done for Boko Haram insurgents and bandits in the Northwest, I believe somebody like Issa Pantami also can be given benefit of doubt. But he himself should understand that all eyes will be on him, and that there are certain things that may happen in Nigeria which fingers will point at him as being the orchestrator or the originator of such.
Okay.
So it's facing a lot of burden. The president is facing a lot of burden by virtue of this expose that are format, which he has also admitted that he held those views in past. If anything is done that is linked to his person, it will show that he has not genuinely recanted those views he held in the past. That is why there is a lot of burden on him and on the president, which is serves at the pleasure. But it's a sensitive issue that we need to handle with care. I just believe that the moral lesson this is teaching all of us, particularly people who are nominated for high political office, is sufficient background checks. That we need to do sufficient background checks about their past, about what they have, what kind of values do they hold in the past, what kind of actions have they taken. Because come to think of it, my brother, if you are to be, if you apply for a job that you want to do in another organization from where you are currently working, the likelihood is that your present employer will ask you for a reference letter from your previous employer, isn't it? Why did they request for that? They request for them to know what kind of person are you. Not only in terms of job performance, they are also looking at your attitude, whether you are a team player, whether you are stubborn, whether you are somebody who can work without or with very little supervision.
Okay, Jide, let me allow these calls in so you can address the callers too, on this issue. Numbers to call quickly: 081 40 989 or 070 87 800 989. Your calls. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Tony.
Good morning.
Thank you very much. Welcome back. My name is Musa Bala.
Thank you.
I greet you again. We're in a very serious situation, and the path of almost everybody can count on him. Just like pandemic, we have a lot of students in the university that demonstrated against the police, but today they are police officers. The most important thing is for an individual to understand that, okay, he has made a mistake and he now shifts ground. And in the case of Pantami, there was not any investment or prosecution, whether home and abroad, about his previous radical view on terrorist group. And now he has understood and apologized. I think, like what Jide has said, Nigeria might give him that benefit of that because we have not even discussed the importance or rather the benefit he brought to Nigeria on the issue of that. Like what you had said, we have a lot of people today in Nigeria that if they shifted ground, I think we can give them benefit of that. For example, in Nigeria we have a religious leader that was misled by some politicians to come out and say that if a particular person was arrested over the fact of corruption, it's as good as if you have arrested that religion. You see, that is reconciliation. I'm very sure he must have misled. Today in Nigeria, we have kidnappers, former kidnappers that were arrested, and now they confess. And after that confession, they are rehabilitated them, and they are now pastors, which is very good. Can we reject them? How about the opinion that if Pantami still have that view, then he should not only resign, but he must be prosecuted.
Okay.
But he has said that was youthful exuberance, and we have a lot of people today in Nigeria who insulted one issue or the other, but today they are champions in that area.
Okay.
I think that is the difference between youthful exuberance and reality.
Okay.
We will continue to bless Nigeria with good leaders, no matter their tribe or religion, and distance.
Okay, sorry, Musa, I have a caller here. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Tualabi.
Yes, quickly.
Okay, I think your guest has spoken of this engineer man.
All right.
You see, it's rather unfortunate. When you are not in the corridor of power, you know the kind of words you speak. Because tomorrow, when you are in that place, now the question I want even to ask: before he was screened, did the DSS go through his profile to see what kind of person he is? Remember, once upon a time, I stand to be corrected. You know, these our leaders sometimes they are the ones that mostly say something that they ought not to say. Remember one day somebody said Karejini Buri. You see all those statements. I feel that a leader ought not to say. And today is in power. If somebody makes such a statement, before you know the DSS will go after him. What about the person that makes the statement in past? So what is it? So please, or the not sure, if they are saying that we should give him benefit of the doubt, did he accept he makes such statement? Is it he did it in, they say ignorance is not an excuse. When you did something out of ignorance, it's not an excuse for you to be escaped. So I think the DSS, let them investigate this thing proper and keep a close eye on it.
Right.
Not politicize it, because Nigeria are good in politicizing issues.
Okay,
they are thinking that it's because of name. That is not the issue. They should investigate. And even
okay, Engineer Emmanuel, we got it. Jide, let me just, could you just sum it up and your last line on this?
Okay, I didn't quite get what the callers were saying.
Okay.
Okay, do you want to summarize anything?
I'll try to. The first caller, Musa Bala, was saying that I agree with you that the benefit of doubt should be, allowed to play here. That if he has recanted and saying that it was a thing in the past, but he's a changed person now, so we should give him that benefit of doubt. And the second caller, Engineer Emmanuel, was saying that the DSS, what homework did they do, what background check or fact file did they have on Issa Pantami? Could all of that not come to the fore in having him appointed as the minister?
Well, in closing, what I would just say is that we have the issue is both legal and moral, and I feel that if anybody is dissatisfied with the position of things, they can approach the court under the guise of public interest litigation to say, look, the president should do this. But I don't know whether that will hold water. My own position, which is personal to me, is that it needs to be put under very close watch. Yes, he said he had those views in the past. We need to know, and like Caesar's wife, the above board, that genuinely and truly he has repented, and that he did not hold those positions again. Like I said, yes, people do change, and even religiously. I mean, we have had people moving from being a Christian to becoming a Muslim, and moving from being a Muslim to becoming a Christian. It has been vice versa. People who are equal adherents of indigenous religion in the past have also either embraced Islam or Christianity. So the only thing that's permanent in life is change. But we cannot leave things to chance, and that's why I would support is placed under security watch, so that at least for the sake of the fact that he's holding a very sensitive position in this administration, we cannot just allow things to lie low and take his words for it that he no longer holds those positions. Because whether we like it or not, those who are financing terrorism in Nigeria are also Nigerians. Some of them are Nigerians, and they hold a very high position. Nobody will come out openly to say I'm in support of terrorism or I'm financing terrorism. They know it's illegal and illegitimate. But it is for the security agencies to do due diligence. And for somebody who has avowed that kind of very hardline posture in the past, it needs to be under security watch 24/7, so that, yes, truly and genuinely, we will know that we are safe with him being in the cabinet. Alternatively, if the president feels sufficient pressure, he can ask him either to redeploy him to another less sensitive position or to remove it from cabinet. And the other option is for him to resign. But obviously, from what I have heard him say, he's not trying the option of resignation. And from the track record of Mr. President, he does also sack people. The most important thing is the moral burden is there for both of them, the President and Mr. Pantami, on this issue, so that the benefit of that has been given to them will not be abused.
Okay, thank you very much, Jide Ojo. Thank you for coming on the program.
My pleasure. Have a great day.
Thank you. And that's the program Perspectives today. Our guest, Jide Ojo, Executive Director of Oja Development Consult, a columnist with the Punch newspapers, a blogger, author, culture enthusiast, and fellow of Chartered Institute of Leadership and Governance, United States of America. He's been our guest this morning. And all coming on the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Pantami, about, his past now coming to haunt his present. And that's talking about, utterances and controversial statements he had made in the past over supporting global terrorist groups. And today, Nigerians are calling for his head. He has come to say that was in the past and apologize that he's a changed person now. Up to you and I to give him the benefit of doubt. The moral, tending on here too would be in play. But again, the lessons of our young men and women aspiring to positions of leadership. What lessons, have you learned, from these? Thank you for staying with us on the program Perspectives today. I'd like to thank my colleague, Kanchat, for connecting us with the people. Wisdom, thank you for putting us in the pictures. We'll come back with Perspectives tomorrow. Good morning.